Hello, I'm back for what I'm now correctly terming rapid chess, 20 plus 20. Not really classical as I'd been calling it, although Lee Chess calls it classical. I think that technically is considered rapid. I don't know what the threshold is for classical though, so I could be wrong, but I think of anything under 30 minutes per side as being rapid, but 20-second increment may push it over. In any event, I think I'm going to try to focus on piece activity. It's something that I've been kind of slowly developing. I'm really trying to refine my process to focus more on that and just generally positional play, trying to find long term advantages rather than short tactical sequences. But I've struggled in the past when I've started to kind of think that way more, and that I would often miss tactics, not only tactics available to me, but tactics that I'm making available to my opponent by oversight. So, got to be a little bit more careful. So hopefully I can find a game and get it going. Ah, there we go. Okay, and an opponent about my strength, which is nice. Okay, so I'm much more used to the C4 line, but in the spirit of piece activity, I'm considering playing E4, which I've shied away from in the past because it can lead to a French. Um, let's try this E4 idea. Why not? That's a good enough reason, right? And now I'm very tempted to just go into the advanced French, which just feels like it's good for white to me. I mean, I hate playing against the advanced French, so the flip side of this is that black played e6 with this idea of transposing into the French in mind. Okay, so he's just going straight in. Um, I don't. I think I can just play c3. That makes development a bit awkward for the knight and maybe even the dark squared bishop. So I don't know if like knight f3 is really considered a playable line here. I think c3 makes the most sense. I'm going to stick with that, but I really, I mean, since I played d4, not e4, I'm not very well versed in these French lines as white, and not really that much as black either, though a little bit more so as black than white. Of course, if I were being true to my word and thinking about piece activity, maybe I wouldn't have played this way. Okay, I don't have to react to that. I've still got two defenders versus two attackers. So I could play my bishop to b5, look to trade those pieces off. And with the center closed, that doesn't seem like a horrible idea. In general, I'm hesitant to give up bishop for knight exchanges. I think I'm just going to play knight f3. That just adds another defender to the pawn, even though I don't need it. That does free up my queen to not have to babysit this pawn. And probably a move I wanted to play regardless. I mean, maybe there was some merit to knight e2 to f4 or even g3. How's it going, Ray? Queen there. That I am not sure that I understand. I guess the c file could be opening, but I feel like I'm better suited to take advantage of that. So bishop e3, bishop e2. I could still go bishop b5. My other concern, I mean, the bishop for knight exchange doesn't seem so bad here, if for no other reason than my bishops just feel clumsy in this closed, with the center closed like this. I think I am going to go here. And I don't know if I'll actually initiate that exchange. I just don't know what else this bishop does. I mean, I guess if not here, the bishop just goes to e2, I suppose. And then it doesn't seem to really have great prospects there, though maybe long term it's fine. I don't know. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I think it may have been more correct to play this bishop out to b5 first and develop this knight here, and then maybe come to g3. Because I feel like with this knight, I mean, I'm pretty much definitely going to d2, and then this just feels natural. But now my knights are kind of stepping on one another. I mean, I could do something like a3 to c2 to e3, but I don't know. It feels kind of strange. Okay, I think I am going to go ahead and take here. I don't know. I'm still not very sure of that idea, but okay. So I think probably just bishop d2, and then if this exchange happens, my bishop gets some squares. But my knight probably wants to go there first. I guess I could entertain this crazy knight idea. Probably the best route for the knight right now is this. So I'm going to put that idea into motion. I feel like it's kind of an awkward position for both sides, so I don't really mind spending a few tempi with this maneuver. Okay, so I have a bit of a choice. Well, no, yeah. If I grab with the queen, he can take with... Well, no. I can grab with the queen if I want. I'm not sure I see the advantage to that, though. I'd probably like to have this diagonal for my bishop. Thank you, I Love Math, for the follow. Hope you enjoy it. Taking with the pawn seems like the most principled move. Keep these pawns in the center together. That's okay, I stink at chess too. I will concede that c5 seems like a very natural move for him now. Or that. But I think I'm happy to trade these bishops. I'm not immediately sure which way I would recapture. Huh. I'm pretty tempted to just play a3. I can probably just castle first, though. Rook c1 also looks like a very logical move to make. I think I'm going to castle first. Okay, so getting back to my focus of piece activity, and I guess just in a more general sense, positional play. This bishop is not so great. So I would like to do anything in my power to keep that bishop not very good. And I think that would mainly involve preventing c5, though that may be pretty difficult to do. I mean, rook c1, if he plays c5, I'm winning a pawn, but unleashing this rook, I'm winning the c pawn, losing my a pawn. That may be worth it. I could prod this bishop a little bit with a3. That may not be so bad. I don't know. Rook c1 seems like a higher priority move. So the line I'm looking at is rook c1. If he plays c5, I could take the bishop. He takes with the a pawn. I take the rook. I've got a tempo on his queen. So I would have time to play a3 thereafter, and I'm just up a clean pawn. His rook does get more active, but I'm up a pawn. So I think I'm going to go for that line. I don't see too much else in the position that scares me. I mean, the other obvious break that he has is f6. But that seems even more difficult to prevent. But rook to e1 is probably an okay defense. Okay, so striking at my rook, but I was... okay. Now an interesting move is bishop takes b4. Yeah, bishop takes b4 seems like a good move. Bishop takes b4. He has to take with the pawn, but it's not coming with tempo anymore, is why I'm attracted to it. It's probably not any better, I guess. I'm still helping his pawn move up the board, which is irritating. So maybe just rook e1. Yeah, let's just go rook e1. And probably a3 next. I'd really like to bring this knight around. So if I can entice him to trade on d2, that'll help me with that. And he'll have no piece that's really capable of removing that knight. The knight would be very strong there. I can probably make use of that square one way or the other. Like, even if his bishop moves back. Yeah, so he really wants to get that move in. And I can't blame him. Okay. Yeah, that's not too surprising. So now b5, or b4 rather, seems like it kind of puts a clamp on this move, which I really want to prevent. Because b4, if he takes, I can take with the bishop, and if he takes, I take with the pawn, and I've got a clamp on this again. I guess I have to be careful guarding that pawn, but it's probably not the most important pawn in the position. I think that is what I'm going to go with. I need to find some way to get my knights into the game. Yeah, so I was thinking take with the bishop. The bishop's not doing anything at the moment, so... I mean, yeah. Yeah, I think I would like to take with the bishop and trade these bishops. It's a much better bishop for him than it is for me. Okay, I missed that move. But it seems pretty easy to deal with. I mean, even just here, and I'm kicking him out. Yeah, I am going to go with that because I do want to start rerouting the knight. Okay. I still have this idea of just hopping the knight in. It's probably a pretty decent plan. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. I don't see what else the knight ever does, so. This pawn is always kind of problematic to defend. But the big thing was I wanted to stop c5, and once I put this knight here, it's pretty difficult for him to get a piece in position. Ah, so that was clearly an oversight, but I think queen here gets out of it. That should be fine as far as I can tell. Maybe he might be winning this pawn. So is there a move that can save the knight and the pawn? I don't think so. I don't know, not seeing it. Okay, but I need to get out of this pin, so. Okay. That's kind of a hollow threat, I think. Because can't I go here and then his knight just has to go back? I could also go here, but here just gains the tempo. If I go here, his knight actually doesn't have to go back because my queen is defending the knight. So which square is better is really the question. I think I like here, and then I can jump in here. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, so he didn't have to go back, but I think now I just jump in here. Yeah, yeah. So next order of business is to get this knight more involved. And I mean, even something just like this, and I'm winning that bishop, but the bishop isn't so useful. I think I have to be slightly better just by virtue of this knight right now. It's a pretty fantastic knight. I could also consider maybe a kingside attack. I do think f4 is a good idea to just kind of have in the chamber to reinforce this pawn some more. So, I mean, what I mean is to avoid putting pieces on f3 and f4. Okay, so I guess he's wanting to try to flip the attack a bit. Maybe he's trying to play queen h4. That doesn't. I don't see where that goes necessarily. I'm tempted to just play rook to a1. Kind of funny moving back, but that does add an attacker to the bishop. And maybe I can grab the file somehow. Yeah, that bishop can't be defended, so he would have to play bishop b5, and then like maybe rook a3 and look to swing this other rook in behind. Yeah, I mean, that grabs the file. Another idea is still to just try to get this knight somewhere useful. I'm not sure where that is, though. I think I like this plan. Yeah, and now I was thinking just here. I've got to be a little bit careful about this f6 counterattack idea, but I think I'm okay to proceed. So the idea here is if he exchanges, then I get the file with my queen. Here I was just thinking rook a1, rook e to a1, and kind of force the issue. I am a little bit interested in knight here. I debating that if he pushes, pawn can maybe become overworked. I don't know. I don't know about that. I can probably just keep that move in the holster. So yeah, I think I like this. And probably take with the rook. His only other option, well, he can move the queen back to defend, or he can move this rook out of the way, which feels pretty timid. Okay, so I was thinking take with the rook to keep the queen around on the king side if he ever tries to get into like this kind of thing. Another idea would be to try to trade the queens off. Hmm. I think I'm taking with the rook. It's tough. It's tough. Because I'm thinking once I take with the rook, I mean, I've got, like I said, I've got control of this file. Maybe then it's safe to start pushing like f4, and I probably want my queen around to help here. Yeah, I'm taking with the rook. And I think maybe like f4, f5. It's hard to see how his pieces can infiltrate the queen side now. As usual, I'm down on the clock. This has been, I think, a pretty good game, though. It'll be interesting to see if the computer finds any glaring mistakes. But yeah, so he wants to come here, but I have this. I think I still like f4 and try to get f5 in. It's a very committal move. I could also simply try to improve this knight. But yeah, if I can get the knight here, that would be, I think, quite good. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be bold and press on. Yeah, Waddle, it feels like a good position. I feel like I'm not very good at converting these kinds of positional advantages into wins. So I've got to find the way to do that here. Like I think I have a lot of pluses in the position, but like, I'm not sure what the way forward necessarily is. I mean, I like my f5 idea, but I mean, he's not forced to take here. Yeah, so here I thought I just had this, and then he's kind of in a bind for the rest of the game. Yeah, I mean, I don't see a whole lot he can do to get out of that. I thought that was a decent plan earlier in the game. Um, hmm. So, a couple tempting options. I could just swing my queen over and try to get another piece in the attack. I could still try this f5 idea. I'm just not sure. Like he'd obviously be not advised to take. And I just don't see the follow. I mean, okay, f5 something, f6 takes, and I guess that just wins a piece, does it? Yeah, maybe I'm just crashing through with f5. Takes. Yeah, his queen. Yeah. I mean, I guess his best plan of escape is to go queen here. Yeah, that kind of seems to neutralize everything. Hmm. So if I bring my queen over, I'm just worried about his queen eventually getting into the game this way. Probably not so easy since I think he really needs to make this move. So f5, queen here, takes. My knight's always on this pawn. I could maybe work this knight in, well, not there, but like to this square. I don't know. I think I'm playing f5. It just feels like f5 should be played. This is actually my first game of the night, so I feel like this game's been going okay. Yeah, so I was thinking takes. Uh, hmm. Yeah, I think I want to try that. Hmm. Hmm. I think I'm going here. Do I have time to play like this? I guess he just goes here. Then I could go here. Here. He's got to defend somehow. Yeah, I think I want to go here. Hmm. Yeah, I'm going here. No. I'm changing my mind again. I think I have to take first. Yeah, I figured that move was probably coming. That is annoying. So, okay, let's just take. I don't know. It feels like I give up a lot by taking. I think I need to take. Go here. Here. Oh my god. Oh, man, totally missed that. Forgot about that bishop over there. Wow. What a what a shitty way to end. That's pretty unfortunate. Felt like I must have been much better, but I just missed something, obviously. Thanks, Waddle. Maybe eventually he'll give up. I don't know. I guess some people just have nothing better to do. Okay, let's look at this. So, wow. Yeah, I just totally overlooked it. I actually H3 was probably the move I was considering next, but yeah, had a huge advantage. Yeah, I kind of missed the point of this move, and maybe I discounted it too much because I just thought I had all the infiltration squares covered, and yeah, just obviously missed that. So H3, and I'm probably a little bit better, but not much. The time trouble probably got the best of me there. Like, I don't know that trading. Okay, it says I need to trade. So what was the critical move? Like, this position was, um, it says knight H5. So yeah, the more the engine thinks, the more it thinks knight H5 was really strong. I was looking at that move at various times, but I didn't really see the point of it here, I guess. Like, is the idea knight H5 and bring the queen to follow? Try to carve out this square? I don't know. It's hard for me to figure. So knight h5. Like, what happens if he just takes? Yeah, queen g3, queen f8. I'm still getting this check in if I want it. It just says b takes c5 now. Kind of a calm move. And he's just in such a bind, I guess, is the issue. He can't really play anything. So yeah, that's kind of an example of the ideas that I'm trying to get better at finding. Like, black's basically in zugzwang here, so I've just, if I get to this position, I've just positionally crushed him. So I mean, it just suggests rook e8, and then yeah, even rook e8 runs into this check, and then winning material. It doesn't even want him to take back. So I was pretty close, but no cigar. All right, so we'll go back over the whole game. It's pretty even until I eventually was able to squeeze a good advantage out of it and just couldn't convert. Okay, yeah, so some lines here that I don't really know. c5, and then as I suspected, c3 and knight f3 are the main lines, but c3 the more main line. So, okay, I'm happy to find that. Knight f3 here. And is this a common idea? Not really. Normally they would play bishop to d7, or queen b6, not queen c7. Queen b6 makes sense, yeah. So here, yeah, it wanted just a quieter bishop e2. Yeah, I kind of realized after going for this idea that, like, this is my good bishop with all my pawns on dark squares. So I guess I was thinking closed positions, knights are going to be of more value than bishops, but I think, and that's probably true, but this bishop is an okay bishop to hang around. So I guess that's why bishop e2 or d3 are preferred to trading these off. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mind trading here, but it still prefers bishop a4. Now it likes taking, so thanks for the follow, Waddle. Maybe one day there won't be trolls in the chat. It's almost flattering, really. Like, I haven't been streaming for that long, and I've never even had trolls in the chat before. So I mean, I guess you're doing something right if trolls feel like it's worth trolling your chat. Okay, and it wants me to just go ahead and castle. Okay, I kind of liked this idea, but I will say this knight never was used on g3, so yeah. I guess it's kind of tough that, like, I never really know which side black has a choice of which side to open it up. So I don't really know where I want my pieces. But wanted, yeah, castles here, but so it doesn't really like this rerouted knight idea. It even likes king f1. Bishop d2 makes more sense to me. castle, castle. It wanted me to play bishop takes b4. That just seemed like it helped him kind of correct his pawns a little bit. And his pawn on b4 makes it irritating to move these pawns. So I don't know. But the computer's usually good at these kind of things. Rook c1 felt pretty natural. And yeah, I guess I'm doing a good job stopping c5 because the computer's not recommending it. And it seems like the move that black wants to play in the position. Yeah, so here I was already looking at bishop takes, which, yeah, for a second the computer was saying was not much worse, but rook out of the way works. Knight e2, yeah, so this knight has had some misadventures doing this to here, and now, okay, now the engine likes bishop takes b4, but seems like the computer thinks the knight needs to come back this way. So, okay, I didn't do a good job positioning this knight, clearly. a3, bishop e7, and it doesn't seem to like my b4 idea. I thought that just shut down c5, which was my primary focus, really. I guess it wants rook c2 with the idea of doubling. Bishop g5, insisting on this trade. Okay. And it says black's actually a fair amount better here, which is, I guess, somewhat surprising to me. And it wants me to take, yeah, okay, I took with the bishop. He traded, which I felt like was better for me. And here, knight d2, back, knight b3, just getting ready to get to that square. It wants just rook b1. Now it likes queen d3, rook b1, queen d3, rook b1, queen d3. Can't make up its mind, so queen d3 seems fine. Yeah, and I said I didn't really like that move. It felt like it just wasted a tempo, but after queen e3, he doesn't. Yeah, the computer thinks he should go back right away, but now it's even advocating this. Yeah, I mean that makes sense because I mean maybe he didn't appreciate how strong the knight became on c5. Yeah, and I'm surprised that the computer says it's only equal here. I thought that this knight was the key to the position. Yeah, it already likes f4. Rook a5. That's an interesting idea. Basically the same idea as my rook a3 move to just keep control of the file, but I guess rook a5, if he takes, do I take with the pawn and then try to push this pawn up the board? I assume that's the idea. Yeah, because it even wants him to get out of this. And I wonder if this is just... Okay. Yeah, definitely taking with the pawn, but it says it's not a huge mistake or anything. So kind of on the right track with rook a3, but not quite sufficient. It thinks he should take, and then when I recapture, play queen g5. So takes, queen g5, or even knight f4. Yeah, I guess his queen's just in at this point, and it's difficult to do anything about it. It even now wants me to play rook a5. So That's an idea that I need to be more aware of, clearly, if it's that strong. I doubled, he took. It wants me to take with the rook, which I did. Yeah, and I thought this idea, trying to trade the knights off, was good, but should have happened earlier in the game. Yeah, and it likes f4 here. And yeah, I recognized that this was weak and pounced on it, but I just wasn't quite able to capitalize. I found f5. Yeah, king h7, interesting. And yeah, knight h5 just puts the finishing touches on it. So, okay, a bit of a disappointing result, but I think overall a pretty good game and a good game to learn from. So, can't be upset with that. So I think that's going to be it for me tonight. Thanks to all who contributed in a positive way, which is everyone except for that one guy. And I hope that you all have a good evening.